The 48 Laws of Power. This book is so powerful that some people use it to control the minds of others. But I beg you, do not use this book for bad purposes, and by the end of this video, answer this question in the comments. Which of these 48 laws is the most powerful in your opinion? Before we delve into the depths of each law, I implore you to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to show your support. This is not just another video, it's a portal to unlock the secrets of success and dominance. Watch till the end, absorb every word, and in the comments below, share with us which law resonates with you the most, igniting your inner fire for conquest and achievement. Let us begin, for greatness awaits those who dare to learn and apply the laws of power. Law number 1. Never outshine the master. Nicolas Fouquet made the mistake of appearing larger than his king, Louis XVI, and spent his remaining days incarcerated. Avoid victories over superiors. It will cost you more than it is worth. Law number 2. Never put too much trust in friends, rather learn how to use enemies. Michael III of the Byzantine Empire was saved from death by Basilius, who Michael in turn favored with gifts and prestige. Basilius, lusting for more power, murdered Michael out of greed. Instead of showing gratitude, he was insatiable. Trust from a distance. People are selfish and pursue their own interests. Former opponents make more loyal and stronger friends. Law number 3. Conceal your intentions. The Marquis de Sèvres wanted to seduce a young countess. Instead of being indirect and subtle, he exposed his true feelings for her, and she lost all interest as he blurted out that he loved her. Add a sense of inexplicable mystery to your character. Number 4. Always say less than necessary. Due to his unpredictability, Louis XVI would have his courtiers tremble in fear when delivering bad news. He would say, "I shall see," then have them leave the room and either take action or decide to do nothing about the issue, but always with an intimidating silence. Only speak when you have something meaningful to say. Actions speak louder than words. Law number 5. So much depends on reputation, guard it with your life. During the Second World War, Erwin Rommel was known for his superior skill in cunning and deceptive strategy. All of the opposition were demoralized and doubting their chances of success facing him. Your reputation precedes you. Build and protect it carefully. If you are finding value in this, please like the video, subscribe, and in the comments, tell us your favorite law. Your opinions are very important to us all, so do not leave without doing so. Law number 6. Court attention at all cost. Pablo Picasso would not allow himself to fade into the background. He would rather paint something out of the ordinary and ugly than be forgotten. All publicity is good publicity. Don't let yourself become one of many. Law number 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take all the credits. Thomas Edison wasn't much of a scientist, but a businessman. He would capitalize on Nikola Tesla's genius and garner all the credit. Hire talents capable of doing what you can't. Law number 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. When I have laid bait for deer, I don't shoot at the first doe that comes to sniff, but I wait until the whole herd has gathered round. Then I kill them all. Otto von Bismarck once said, "Force your opponent to react to your moves." Law number 9. Win through your actions, not through argument. Mucianus needed strong ships. Without guarding his tongue, his engineer argued that a different type than the one Mucianus preferred would be much better for conquest. Despite being right, the engineer was sentenced to death. Don't argue with authorities. Agree and suggest an alternative, then demonstrate. Law number 10. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Lola Montez brought down the king of Bavaria and his whole kingdom by seducing him. Her lust for destruction and chaos was insatiable. Countless lives perished because of her nature. Cut off the fire starters. Try to help them instead, and you too will burn alongside them. Law number 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. Otto von Bismarck led the king's hand in uniting a mighty Prussia. None other than Bismarck was able to do so. He proved himself to be an indispensable asset and had his strong position secured. Be the only one who can do what you do, or see yourself replaced in fear sooner or later. Law number 12. Use selective honesty to disarm your victim. Count Victor Lustig was going to double Al Capone's $50,000. Instead of running with the money, he gave it all back to Capone, who thought he was being played by a con artist. Capone gave Lustig $5,000 from his $50,000 simply to help the honest man. Tell the truth to gain your opponent's trust. Be honest when expected to be dishonest to throw your opponent off guard. Law number 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. In 433 BC, the Athenians found themselves in a favorable position. The Corcyraeans and the Corinthians were preparing for war. Both parties wanted to secure the help of the Athenians. The Corinthians chose to remind them of an existing debt. The Corcyraeans, on the other hand, spoke only of mutual interests, the combined force of their navy directed at Sparta. The Athenians allied with the Corcyraeans. In sales of any kind, pragmatic arguments will always trump emotional appeals. The past does not matter. Don't count on loyalty. Aim for win-win deals. Law number 14, pose as a friend, work as a spy. Charles Maurice de Talleyrand-Périgord, French politician and mastermind behind Napoleon Bonaparte's defeat, would hold himself back in conversation and get others to talk endlessly of themselves to the point of betraying their own thought, intent and strategy. An interrogation disguised as a friendly chat, so subtle that the victim did not notice. Learn to judge a person's character by what they reveal of themselves, so that you can recognize a threat before it arises. Test people's honesty before you consider trusting them. Law number 15, crush your enemy totally. A priest asked the dying Spanish statesman and General Ramon Maria Narvaez, 1800 to 1868, "Does your excellency forgive all your enemies?" "I do not have to forgive my enemies," answered Narvaez, "I have had them all shot." The last resort, when words are no longer heard and the enemy cannot possibly be reasoned with, the chances for peace at their lowest, the only option is total destruction. Merely wound the enemy, he will recover and show no mercy in turn. If you are finding value in this video, please like the video, subscribe and drop a comment. Law number 16, use absence to increase respect and honor. A man said to a dervish, "Why do I not see you more often?" The dervish replied, "Because the words 'Why have you not been to see me?' are sweeter to my ear than the words 'Why have you come again?'" Mullah Jamie, quoted in Idris Shah's Caravan of Dreams, 1968. Give people time to miss you by robbing them off your presence. It's when we lose something that we discover how valuable it had been to us. On your return you will be appreciated all the more. Law number 17, keep others in suspended terror, cultivate an air of unpredictability. Once Pablo Picasso had become a recognized artist, others would assume that whatever action he took must have been calculated. The art dealer Paul Rosenberg was confused when one day Picasso told him they would no longer work together. Rosenberg couldn't find out why and offered him a much better deal. The unpredictable is terrifying. When you don't know what to expect, you cannot prepare properly, you can't devise a clever plan, because you're in the dark. Put others in such position when negotiating. Law number 18, do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. When Castellazzo asked Pope Julius II what measures he would take in case of an attack upon Rome by the Venetians, the Pope replied that he would take no measures at all, but would put all his trust in God. "Trust in the Lord," said he, "but keep your powder dry." Don't wait for threats to come to you. Be proactive in reaching out to allies. Together you stand stronger than alone. Law number 19, know who you're dealing with, do not offend the wrong person. When Venetian nobles came to confront Galileo Galilei, accusing him of impertinence and incompetence, Galileo answered that he didn't mean to insult or hurt anyone, he was only expressing his ideas. They were merely thoughts and beliefs, no more, no less. Don't step on the toes of those above you. Gain your footing, then reach for the stars. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Law number 20, do not commit to anyone. When Napoleon's troops had been defeated and were retreating, the Russian army offered him peace. However, Napoleon was counting on the Tsar's weakness and inability to crush him. Napoleon did not agree to the terms and instead made his escape. When Alexander realized Napoleon had managed to escape, he felt like a fool for ever offering him peace and was determined to crush him. As long as you remain uncommitted, your opponents must remain uncertain. The moment you commit, you give away your hand. It is not until you decide that a decision has been made, until then all options remain open. Once you commit, you'll be forced to live with the consequences, whether good or bad. Inaction is preferable to rash action. Law number 21, play a sucker to catch a sucker, seem dumber than your mark. Chinese Emperor Gaozu of Han would feign a lack of intelligence, cunning, and awareness. He wanted to catch his advisors off guard and make them become arrogant, so that he could recognize their true character and intents. Never appear too smart or you will intimidate people, who will eventually begin to fear and despise you. Law number 22, use the surrender tactic, transform weakness into power. When Zhuge Liang pretended to be ill and opened his gates to Cao Cao's army, they did not attack, suspecting a trap. Cao Cao was defeated by his own fear and Zhuge Liang's ingenuity. Don't show strength when you are weak. It will invite attack. Make use of what you have. Law number 23, concentrate your forces. Liechtenstein's intention had been to conquer the whole of Switzerland. The Bernese knew they couldn't face the combined power of all the cities and negotiated an alliance with Zurich and the Habsburgs, who were no fans of Liechtenstein either. Together they defeated Liechtenstein and Bern. Focus your resources to apply maximum force on the smallest possible area. Law number 24, play the perfect courtier. When Washington had finally won the war, his generals urged him to crown himself king, but Washington refused. He didn't want to seem power-hungry. He sought to show he didn't want to be king, so he became king. He was king and would step down once more. Do as you please, as long as it's what people want. Law number 25, recreate yourself. Charles VII of France is remembered as the victorious despite having been humiliated by Joan of Arc in the beginning of his reign. He had been seen as a fool, but changed his persona and won back the respect of his peers. Be a master of disguise. Conceal your true intentions and adapt to circumstances. Law number 26, keep your hands clean. Calvin was against divorce because he was convinced that women, by the grace of God, were subordinated to men and that it was ungodly for women to be free from male control. He was adamant about this, and it was of the utmost importance for him to stay consistent with his own beliefs, so he took care of his wife personally, even when she was mentally ill. Always leave room to deny involvement. Law number 27, play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Sun Myung Moon was regarded as a cult leader and was able to convince his followers that he was the Messiah and the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. Use simplistic and ambiguous language, appeal to the emotions, and reinforce a sense of community among your followers. People want to believe in something larger than themselves. Law number 28, enter action with boldness. Louis XI, King of France, was ruthless in his execution of policy. He went out on a limb, making audacious and risky moves, creating fear among his adversaries, who could not predict his next move. All or nothing, every time. Law number 29, plan all the way to the end. Napoleon's invasion of Russia ended in defeat, as he had not planned for the severe Russian winter, which decimated his troops. Never let your enemies out of your sight. Always plan ahead, anticipate the future, and consider every possible outcome. Law number 30, make your accomplishments seem effortless. Leonardo da Vinci would spend hours with his paintings, yet when people asked him how he painted such masterpieces, he would say, "I paint all day long and at night I dream of painting." Make it look easy and people will be impressed by your skill. Law number 31, control the options, get others to play with the cards you deal. Henry Ford would only offer the Model T in black, because black paint dried faster than any other color. There were no other options and people had to take it or leave it. Limiting options makes people more likely to choose what you want them to choose. Law number 32, play to people's fantasies. Friedrich Nietzsche's work was cryptic and open to interpretation, appealing to people's fantasies and desires for meaning. His philosophy inspired many, even though it was often misinterpreted. People don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear what they believe to be true. Law number 33, discover each man's thumbscrew. Louis XIV's controller, Cardinal Mazarin, could not control his own behavior, because he had been conditioned to believe he would be a great man. That made him susceptible to flattery. Figure out what motivates people and use it to your advantage. Law number 34, be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. Julius Caesar would never rise to his feet when the Senate rose to honor him. He wanted to show that he was above such honors. Act regal and people will treat you as such. Law number 35, master the art of timing. Frederick II of Prussia, also known as Frederick the Great, was able to conquer Silesia by attacking before his enemies were ready. Timing is everything. Strike when your enemies least expect it. Law number 36, disdain things you cannot have, ignoring them is the best revenge. Diogenes the Cynic would ignore Alexander the Great, who had offered him anything he wanted, because Diogenes wanted nothing and therefore could not be bribed or manipulated. Ignore your enemies and they will become frustrated and powerless. Law number 37, create compelling spectacles. Hitler's Nuremberg rallies were carefully orchestrated to create an atmosphere of power and authority. People were in awe of the grandeur and spectacle of it all. Make people's jaws drop and they will follow you anywhere. Law number 38. Think as you like but behave like others. Cardinal Richelieu would encourage his courtiers to speak their minds, but they would soon find themselves exiled or imprisoned if they did. Keep your thoughts to yourself and people will trust you more. Law number 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. Liu Bang would stir up conflict between his enemies, making them weaker and easier to defeat. Divide and conquer. When your enemies are fighting among themselves, they are not fighting you. Law number 40. Despise the free lunch. Henry Ford refused to accept government aid during the Great Depression because he believed it would make him beholden to the government. Don't take handouts. Earn your success through hard work and determination. Law number 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. Franz Ferdinand tried to fill his uncle's shoes, but he was not his uncle and his efforts only led to his assassination. Be yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not. Law number 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. When the leader of a group is killed or removed from power, chaos ensues. The rest of the group is left without direction and easy prey for their enemies. Cut off the head and the body will die. Law number 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Genghis Khan would reward those who submitted to him and punish those who resisted. Over time, people came to see him as a benevolent ruler and willingly submitted to his authority. Win people over with kindness and they will follow you anywhere. Law number 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. Marcus Aurelius would mirror his enemies' behavior back at them, making them angry and irrational. The more they tried to fight him, the more they played into his hands. Use your enemies' tactics against them. Law number 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. Martin Luther started the Protestant Reformation by challenging the Catholic Church's authority, but he did not try to change everything all at once. People are resistant to change, so it's best to take it slow. Law number 46. Never appear too perfect. Cleopatra would use her beauty and charm to get what she wanted, but she would also make herself appear vulnerable and flawed to make herself more relatable. People are more likely to trust you if they think you're just like them. Law number 47. Do not go past the mark you aim for. In victory, know when to stop. Alexander the Great conquered most of the known world by the time he was 30, but he didn't know when to stop. He pushed his troops too far and they eventually rebelled against him. Don't let your ambition blind you to the consequences of your actions. Law number 48. Assume formlessness. Bruce Lee would adapt his fighting style to his opponent, making himself unpredictable and impossible to defeat. Be flexible and adaptable and you will always come out on top. In conclusion, we've delved into the timeless wisdom of the 48 laws of power, uncovering strategies and insights that have shaped history and continue to influence the present. But our journey doesn't end here. We invite you to like and subscribe to our channel to stay connected with more enriching content. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know which law resonates most with you and why. Together, let's embark on a journey of self-discovery and empowerment, mastering the art of influence and navigating the complexities of power with grace and integrity. Join us as we continue to explore the depths of human nature and the pursuit of greatness.